What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's daily market recap. In today's episode, I'm going to break down all of my trades from the morning. As you can see, I'm back in my office, which is nice. I've now got my full screen monitors, all of my real estate here, so I can see charts in a little bit more detail. Unfortunately, that didn't help me make more money today. Yesterday, on my little traveling trading station, was the best day in the last month and a half, maybe, something like that, up $85,000. Today, I'm up $9,000. Monday, I was up $8,000. So that's kind of funny. 8,000, 85,000, and then back to 9,000. So what's the deal? Well, the issue today was that we just didn't happen to have a stock that had really good news that was squeezing higher. So let's go ahead and jump on the charts and start breaking it down. Now, if we take a look, big picture, high level, this is the S&P 500, and you can see the overall market, has been on a fairly impressive rally off these lows. I mean, so much so that I would say that this level of volatility in the overall market's right now up 22% off the lows, but it dropped, let's see. So let me do it from the top. So from the top right here down to there, we dropped 21%. These are really big moves in the entire market. So in any case, the overall market is up. It's down a little bit right now versus the open, but nonetheless, the overall market's in pretty good shape. So yesterday we had HCWB, which gave us this incredible move pre-market. I mean, this thing just kept squeezing. So we initially got this spike from 450 up to a high of 13, drops down, and then curls all the way up to 16, pulls back and goes up to 18. So that was the stock I made a lot of money on. Today, we had QNRX, and this is a stock that I made the most on. But what you'll see on QNRX is that we got the initial pop here. It pulls back. It does rally back up, but it's not able to break through a new high and make, an entire second leg higher and go up to what would, if this had been yesterday's chart, it would have gone, way up to here. But that just didn't happen today. Why? Well, I don't know. QNRX is a stock that has been around for a while. It's got a history of popping up and dropping. You can see these daily candles. So it's kind of a theme, unfortunately. Short sellers, they saw this headline. QNRX, solves, they've got some treatment for pediatric peeling skin. And, I think short sellers are like, pediatrics? Who cares about kids? I hate kids. Let's short this stock. So unfortunately, short sellers not being very sympathetic to children, I suppose you would expect, this just ended up rolling over. And so we got this squeeze, but it wasn't able to hold. It came back up to VWAP once, rejects. A second time, rejects. A third time, rejects. So I made $8,497 on it because I care about kids. So of course I bought the dip. I was hoping this would go higher. But it didn't want to go any higher than, I guess, the peak, which was $12.92. And so that was it. All right. So that's the stock I made the most on. And from there, it was kind of downhill. We just didn't get a lot more. Now I'm going to show you the 10-second chart on QNRX here just for a moment. So first trade for me, did a little dip right here at 990 for the break of 10. Did another dip right here for the breakthrough 1140. It squeezes up to a high of 13. Dips down, and then we got this pullback based out here, and we got a second attempt back up. So nice little dip. Was hoping it would keep going higher, and it did come back up to 12, but was unable to squeeze through to a new high. So as it started to drop back down, consolidation, breaking down here, and it never really reclaimed from that level. So down in this area, when we were at this point below VWAP, I did get a couple more trades, but they didn't produce any profit. They were basically break even. So that was QNRX. The next stock I trade was Blue, BLUE, sorry. This one pops up, jumped in the middle of that spike, and then realized it was a merger. So that's why it's trading exactly sideways, but was quick on the news, was still able to make $2,000 on it. So that was pretty solid. CING jumped in and out of that very quickly, made $190, but this one started to pop up, jumped in, all of a sudden tons of sellers, got right back out. So avoided getting a big loss on that. IQST, An uplist, took a stab at this one, lost $588, didn't want to pull away. This is one kind of like we buy though. So I would keep it on watch for, potentially maybe tomorrow, sort of a similar move where it gets that big pop, sells off, but could we get this type of leg higher? So maybe something to keep on watch for tomorrow. And then SPCB was the last trade I took. Got in right here for the curl, added for the break of 8, and it rejected. Lost 1,000 on that and said, all right, I think that's enough for me. We're just not seeing really good follow through. It doesn't feel like it's worth it. ICCT, this one has been choppy, popped up, rejected, popped up, rejected. So it's like we're seeing these stocks moving a little bit, but it's not, we're not seeing clean price action today. And, again, I think the main cause of that is just the fact that we don't have any really good fresh catalyst. There's been a couple little headlines, but just nothing quite strong enough. Your biggest mover with 500 million shares of volume is a super cheap stock. And sometimes this becomes a little bit of a distraction because traders end up focusing on this instead of something that, might otherwise be what I would trade, a stock between $2 and $20. So this one's gotten a lot of attention today, but being as cheap as it is not something that I really seriously considered. AKA, this one below the 200 moving average, kind of curling up towards 15, but, not seeing much on that. Lucy, it's an eyewear company. It feels like it's not on the theme of being either biotech or Chinese or Bitcoin related. Although we did see a couple Bitcoin related headlines today, and that didn't work. BTCS, this one popped up on news of funding to purchase Ether. Which I actually thought it was Ethereum, but, I guess, so, okay, well, their headline is, anyways, I guess it doesn't really matter, but this goes from 2 to 290 and then right back down. So I saw that, didn't trade it. So really it seems like today, if we look at the volume, predominantly on lower price stocks, a couple higher price names, but although we do have one stock up 500%, it seems like it's a fairly slow day outside of that. So Monday was slow. Tuesday was hot. Wednesday is slow. What does Thursday have in store for us? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But if we get breaking news, there's clearly a lot of traders in the market, as we saw yesterday, that will jump on something moving. And I suppose IXHL is, an example of that with 500 million shares of volume. It just so happens that I don't like lower price stocks. So that's a personal choice. I guess if I traded those, I might think today was an amazing day because it's up so much. So for me, for my strategy, I didn't see anything that really felt good other than QNRX, and I was disappointed that it didn't hold up better. So that's it for me. Live to trade another day. I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow, bright and early, live streaming, 7 a.m. And I want to remind you guys, as always, to make sure you're practicing in a simulator because these markets are very volatile. We're seeing huge moves. So pay your dues, trade in a simulator, and don't put real money on the line until you've proven that you can make money in the sim. Now, if you want to check out some more episodes I've recently taught and upload here on YouTube, I'll put a couple here, and over there. I guess it'll be, something like that way right there. So check those out, and I will see you guys first thing tomorrow morning.